allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. And now we shall move on to the roll call.
Chair Wise,
Here.
Vice Chair Vidor,
Present.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Here.
Commissioner Miller,
Here.
Commissioner Thorson,
Here.
Commissioner Schaefer. Here. Commissioner Colonna is absent tonight. We have a quorum.
Excellent. Next, is Councilman Mateus coming today?
I have not heard that he's not coming, so we'll move on. He may be late for work.
Yeah,
We'll
totally.
see. We'll move on.
Okay, so we'll move on, but we may circle back to the City Council Liaison Report. Commission Liaison Report?
Yes, I will see if Brad Paul, our interim ED director, will have something to say. Last month, we didn't have a quorum, and he did have comments about how well the work plan was drafted. So, Brad, would you like to say something?
This is so cool. Never seen one of these goes up and down like this. Can you hear me? Good afternoon or good evening. I'm delighted to be here again. And as I said, I read your strategic plan, and I was very impressed with both the quality of the suggestions and the depth of the analysis. And as I said, I think the first time I spoke before you, I think that one of the cornerstones of economic development is culture and arts. It really is part of what makes the city unique, and there's a lot that we can do in the city to draw more people to the city through culture and arts. So I look forward to working with you to implement your strategic plan.
Thank you. Great. And next, I'd like to move on to presentations and commendations, of which there, I believe, are none.
Correct.
Great. So we can move on to the community forum.
And here's Jason, or you've met Jason. He'll be standing in for us this evening, and I'd also like to introduce Nandan. And I'll let her say a few words.
Hi, everyone. My name is Seknandan Najjar. I go by Nandan. It's like London with an N. I am the Deputy City Attorney, and I'm very excited to be here today.
Yeah, going forward, my understanding is each commission will have attorney present at most, if not all, meetings.
That is great news. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay, great. Then we'll move on to the consent calendar and approval of agenda. Item A, the approval of the agenda. Would anyone like to motion to approve the
I'd
agenda?
like to motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second the motion.
It was moved by Vice Chair Vidor and seconded by Commissioner Hernandez to approve the March 23, 26 agenda. Roll call. Chair Wise,
Yes.
Vice Chair Vidor,
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller, Commissioner Thorson,
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yes.
It passes unanimously 6-0. Thank you.
Excellent. Then now we'll move on to the approval of minutes. Note, there was no quorum last month, so this is the approval of the January minutes, which I will motion to approve.
I second.
It was moved by Chair Wise and seconded by Commissioner Thorson to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of January 26, 2026. Roll call. Chair Wise,
Yes.
Vice Chair Vidor,
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Thorson,
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer. Yes. Passed 6-0.
Beautiful. Now we'll move on to the action calendar.
Excuse me, you have to approve even though there wasn't a quorum.
Oh, sorry. We also need to approve the minutes for February.
Do I need to do that since Chair Weiss was not present?
You're just approving that there was no the minutes. They're saying that there is none, so he can, no. He can move it, yes. Whoever chooses to do it may do so.
I will move forward that the approval of the fact that there was no meeting in February. Do I have a second?
I second the.
It was, you'll get through this.
I second.
Yes, no, you're fine. It was moved by Chair Wise, seconded by Commissioner Schaefer to accept the minutes of the February 23, 2026 meeting cancellation. Roll call. Chair Wise.
Yes.
Chair Vidor.
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Thorson.
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yes.
Passed 6-0. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, now we can move on to the action calendar. Item A, Commission Discussion and Questionnaire regarding Municipal Resource Group, MRG LLC report on boards, committees, and commissions. Recommendation, discuss and provide comments on the MRG report and provide responses to the questionnaire. Is there, Staff Taylor?
Yes, thank you very much. This was on your agenda for last month. Jason Ackley in the City Manager's Office is staffing the MRG recommendation and comments from boards, commissions, and committees. As this was in your packet last month, as you may have read on page 7, the MRG suggestion at this time is to incorporate the Commission on Culture and Arts and Marina Advisory Commission into the Economic Vitality Commission, which is now the Economic Development Commission. Again, this is just a recommendation, a suggestion by this group to the City Council. The City Council has not made any recommendations yet. They're waiting to hear the overall input from all the boards and commissions, but there are questions in the packet that I'd like to go through now, unless you have any comments prior to going through the questions.
I'll let you, Vice Chair Vidor, would you like to speak first? Aye.
Sure. Thank you, Staff Taylor. I know that I've heard that about absorbing the marina. What was the other commission that they're talking about we absorb?
Economic Development.
That the Culture and Arts Commission and the Marina Advisory Committee be absorbed into the Economic Development Commission. So 3 into 1.
So,
Page 7.
so they would like to essentially do away with this commission, is what I'm hearing, because if it's being absorbed into the Economic Development Commission and that commission is full and this commission is full, then people are going to go by the wayside and we will not have a full commission. And I have an issue with that because we do something very different from the Economic Development Commission. We have different goals and different aspirations.
Yes, I would like to echo that sentiment. I am quite strongly against this suggestion, and I would hope that that is carried over very fiercely. I think that this commission has begun, despite many personal things coming up last month, we have started making some real progress in the last few months. I see there's a whole thing requiring people to have work plans. We are a commission that has finished a work plan that was just commended by the Director of Economic Development. I think we are in a very good position. We are doing very strong work. I think the implication that we should be lumped in with the Marina Advisory Committee, I find to be perfectly frank, slightly insulting. I think that is a wildly different thing. And I think we're doing great work, and the Economic Development is also doing great work. And absolutely we are doing a vital service and that it should not be thrown by the wayside. One recommendation that I did not see in here that I would like to sort of volley back, if I may. I know there's a lot about having sort of substitute members, which I think is not a bad idea at all, so that we can always hit quorum. I also wonder if we could set a policy. I know myself, I have had several times where I've not been able to make meetings where if there was a online attendance option, I would be there. I have the time in my schedule. I just happen to be across the country for a work thing that is related to culture and the arts. That is not just my own personal life. Sometimes it might be a vacation, which is just to say, I think that if we could create some ways for people to attend remotely, then we would not have this issue of there not being people here and not being able to move things forward. And I would just like to put that as a further recommendation into the record as perhaps something that could help move things along. And yes, that is my strong feeling. Councilman Schaefer. Councilman.
Yeah, I think that we have some unique skills on this committee, and when it comes to culture and the arts, and California's initiatives where they are trying to embrace and build creative economies, I don't know if, I don't think the Economic Development Committee has those kind of special skills that we have on this committee to help move that forward. We've been the whole initiative around building creative economies, focusing on using art for health. I think we're uniquely positioned to drive that forward. And I think we're excited about it, and we can push it in a different way. So I don't think this is the right time for that. California just passed a law to bring art into the schools. So I think that we are positioned, I think, to really be that economic driving force around culture and arts.
Vice Chair Fedor.
I do understand that in many jurisdictions that the marina is included in the arts and culture. It's also done like that in Martinez. So that isn't so unusual to me, only because I've experienced that, although I do think it is odd in itself. That said, I would like to know what the reasoning is behind basically dissolving the Commission on Culture and the Arts, when we have already proven that we have done some great work and we have a good granting program that we have established. I also would like to bring up that there was the subject of a youth member and bringing in a youth member onto every single commission. That would be a non-voting member, but they would have more engagement with the youth in Vallejo. So I would just like to know if there's any reasoning behind absorbing all of this into the Economic Development Commission, which I don't think could handle all the things that we do, along with what the Marina does, along with any of the other commissions that they might want to shove into the Economic Development Commission.
Commissioner Hernandez.
No problem. I also, to kind of piggyback off of you guys, I'm opposed to that. I feel that as a commission, we've already successfully granted money out. We have an excellent work plan that we've put so much into. And I think that a lot of our stuff has nothing to do really with the economic vitality or the marina advisory. I think that we can collaborate with them sometimes on certain projects, but I don't think that it would be fair to throw them all under one umbrella and then only have 7 voices to cover such a wide span that we already have broken up. So that's my opinion on that.
if I may add one thing, also, apology, there was a weird pop-up over the request list before, but I fixed it. I do think that it would be great in terms of rethinking commissions and how to streamline them, that I think we should be working more with the economic development, because I think that would make it easier for us to get things done and to be a vital voice to the city. And I would love if the result of this was a closer relationship with them. I think would be very fruitful, but not a replacement, because it's not all overlap. But it is true that things that we do, and we're always sort of trying to make the case that what we are doing leads to economic development. It would be a bit of a cruel irony if us making the case that what we do leads to economic development leads to the city saying, oh, then I guess we don't need you, we just have economic development. But I do not think that is the intention. And yes, so I would love, sort of as a formal comment sent to the city, I think a process in which commissions can communicate with each other in general would be very helpful, and specifically for us to develop a stronger relationship with the Economic Development Commission. Commissioner Miller?
I had a few questions. So is this something that's already kind of moving forward, or is it something that we even have the option of opposing? And it's from the staff, so I'm assuming that it's kind of already pretty much been discussed, and it seemed like there may be some issues with staffing the different secretaries or whoever have to put the different agendas together for each of the committees or whatever on this page.
Right.
Through it, but I just want to know, is it kind of like finalized, or do we have like a say or any input, or is it, this is what it's going to be?
Yeah, each commission, through the chair, each commission board and commission has been asked to comment on this report. It's a recommendation to council. The council, my understanding is the council will take all of the comments from all the commissions into consideration. There was, at the March 3rd meeting, I think there was a comment from at least, there were only maybe 5 commissions that presented, but maybe 2 of the commissions who referred to this report. So no, it's not a done deal. Again, the council has not come before the council to decide. Get back to your question, Chair Wise, regarding being off-site. I know that if a council member is not able to attend a meeting, that that council person, and I'm not certain if it's for commissioners or not, but they would have to post where they are in a public place, so the public could attend that place. So if you're vacationing in Oahu and you're at the beach resort, you would have to find a place to post that. There's going to be a Commission on Cultural Arts meeting at 6 p.m. in the council chamber, and it posts the address where you're located. Am I correct?
Yeah, through the chair, that is correct, just so that we're in compliance with the Brown Act. So 3 days if it's a regular meeting. If you provide us details saying that, you can't be there in person, we can definitely accommodate that. And then just to clarify, and Annette did a very good job explaining this, but none of this is set in stone. Council really wants us to have an open discussion with all of the commissions. And this questionnaire is essentially a way for you guys to voice your opinion, and everything you guys say, Ms. Taylor will go ahead and, convey the message to council.
There's also Councilmember Matias is on Zoom line. I don't know if he wants to weigh in on this or not. Councilmember Matias?
Sorry about that. Good evening, commissioners, and apologies for not being there in person. My work day got a little bit out of hand. Yeah, I think everything that has been echoed by Ms. Taylor is correct. We're very much in a fact-finding phase as a group. And part of that fact-finding phase as a group, and which was a request I made alongside the mayor, was to make sure we actually got feedback from all of the commissions. This report was commissioned without any commissioner input, which is, the first problem with this whole, or one of the first problems with this whole exercise. And so what we're looking to do through this process is to get your perspective and then have those inputs in place to be able to make some decisions down the line. I think to Ms. Taylor's point, at that special meeting that we held on the 3rd, there was strong opposition from some of the chairmen and the staff liaisons that were in attendance to having us make any changes, and they very forcefully articulated why. And so we'll make sure to gather all that information, hopefully in the late summer, to have a follow conversation to the one we had several months ago. So thank you for this conversation, because a lot of things that you guys are pointing out are things that we have to, regardless of whether or not there's any changes that take place, are improvements we have to make to the process in how we engage commissions and what your overall experience is as a commissioner here in the city of Vallejo.
Through the chair, I have a question. Were other cities, successful cities, looked at to see how they are structured? Because it's hard for me to believe that, like, San Francisco, Los Angeles have a culture and arts committee that's really absorbed into the economic development. It's just hard for me to believe that successful cities that are promoting culture and art are working under economic development. They might be working under it, but that it is the economic development. Have they looked at that? Have they looked at other successful cities?
According to this report on page 1, 1, 2, 3, the 4th paragraph, it says, MRG solicited input on several aspects through mayor, council member, executive staff interviews, and a staff survey. Also review existing policies and procedures for boards, commissions, and commissions in Vallejo and 6 other cities across 3 counties, El Cerrito, Fairfield, Milpitas, Palo Alto, Richmond, and Sunnyvale. And then it goes on to say, based on those interview surveys, so forth and so on.
But not the successful cities that are promoting culture and art.
Those cities listed were the ones they interviewed.
I do just want to add one just sort of, some of this is just sort of a public venting. I am fully aware of at the moment. But I do, something I just want to say, I feel like the Bay Area as a place has become a place where people who are working artists cannot afford to live, and we are losing our artists every day, and that a big part of Vallejo's identity is that we are a place where there are still artists, and we are a place where people are leaving San Francisco or Oakland or wherever because they are getting priced out and they are moving to Vallejo. And Vallejo is exciting because it is a place that is made up of those artists. And I do think that the message that is sent, if you just get rid of even just having to make a statement that, oh yeah, we're getting rid of the Culture and the Arts Commission, it's part of economic development, is, to be frank, a bit of a middle finger to the people who are working artists who call Vallejo home. Not to be too high on my high horse here, I know that we are just working. The other side of this, again, as Councilman Mateus put up, is the fact that no commissioners were interviewed in the process of this report, because I think, from my personal experience, there's been a big turnaround on this commission over the last 6 months or so of really starting to get things done and passing things and working out processes to continue to get things done, and that perhaps if you were just looking, not spending time to talk to the commissioner, you're just like, oh yeah, the Culture and the Arts Commission spent 2 years not doing anything, or something, or debating it, which is not the reality, and that it is very frustrating to feel like we've put in a lot of work and a lot of time into making this a commission that can actually do things, and we've been doing the slow roll process of getting that done so that we can really do things, to now have the threat of disbandment on the table is, I was originally going to have to be out of town this week, and I'm very glad that I'm not, because I'm very glad I can deliver this message. Yes. Commissioner Thorson?
Yeah, thanks. I was flashing that because I didn't know how it would work. Yeah, I echo what the other commissioners have said, and I also feel like adding on to Commissioner Wise's comment about, Vallejo being a place for where artists and where culture lives, and that I hope will not change. Many Bay Area cities have become unaffordable, but Vallejo still has that hope and promise to be a place where people can live and be creative. And I don't think that culture will quit being made in Vallejo, and I don't think that artists will stop making art in Vallejo. But I do wonder if Vallejo will stop supporting that. And, so I think that Vallejo has a chance to work with artists through this commission, work with culture through this commission, and be a tie, as opposed to kind of like cutting this commission loose and, losing their tie.
At this time, would you like to go through the questions?
Yes.
And it's interesting because I don't know if you want to have a group answer or individual answers. Or what I can do, if you're responsive, you can send me your responses by Wednesday or no later than Thursday, so I can get it to Jason in the city manager's office, and I can compile them.
Yeah. I know in the past that is not always things have not always been submitted. Can we all agree that we will all send in these answers
By Wednesday.
by Wednesday? Great. Then I think that is a very good plan. Vice Chair Vidor.
So I just decided to pull out my hand encyclopedia and look up a couple of these cities. And I would say Richmond, which is the most comparable to our city here in size and location and population, as well as being a former military city, they definitely have an arts and cultural commission, and they have not absorbed it or gotten rid of it in any way. So I would really want to spend more time looking at the counties and the cities that they were referencing, because it doesn't seem to me that any of those cities have done this, which is absorbing all of these commissions into one commission. So I'm wondering why they're saying that we want to do this when none of these other cities have done it. And so it hasn't been proven as a viable change.
And I did the same thing, and I also looked at Pleasanton. I think that
And wait to be recognized. And wait to be recognized.
Oh, I'm
please.
sorry.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yeah, I looked them up too, and Pleasanton is one that also has a separate civics art committee. I think that the problem I have with the cities they're looking at is they're putting Vallejo in a box. It's where we want to go, not how we're, what cities we're like. It's we want to be recognized as a culture and arts center. So I think that defeats that purpose.
I just had one. All right, is it on? Yeah. Just one point of clarification as to the group deciding to go forward with the written responses. You guys are more than welcome to do that, but just note that a majority of you cannot have a discussion of the answers. Otherwise, it would be a Brown Act violation. A lot of the commissions have chosen to have a more open, in the open session, a discussion with everyone. So just know you're, free to do either choice. But if you do go with the written route, you can't really talk with each other and have a majority.
So do you want to take time this evening, or you prefer the written response? That way you can think about it and...
Why why don't we go through the questions and just answer them a bit, and then we will still all submit our written answers, but just to have that, the ability to communicate. I think to just go over each of the questions would be quite helpful.
Right, and they're very well versed on the Brown Act. So the question, well, you are. Question number 1 is, do you believe you have the necessary training and tools to help you be effective in your role? Does anyone want to speak to that, chair-wise?
Chair.
Yeah. I do think that additional training for how to best use these boards would be great. I think there's a lot of sort of into the deep end trying to figure, reinvent the wheel that ends up happening unnecessarily. Steph Taylor, you are a fantastic guide. Thank you for all you have done, but I do feel like there is definitely room for more training in my opinion. I don't know if my fellow commissioners agree with that. I almost wish there was time for after you're appointed, like a mock commission meeting or something, just to go through the steps.
Through the chair, I think, did you recognize me?
Yeah, go for it. Commissioner Schaefer.
I think, just like Commissioner Weiss had said, I think we do need more training as far as government procedures and things like that. I think, as I said before, I think we're uniquely positioned to deal with culture and art, though. I think all of us have some unique skills around that. So that part, I think that's what we bring to this commission. But I think having more training in the government aspects is, well, you see me bumbling around in here, so so it's clear that we could use more training.
Commissioner Vidor, Vice Chair Vidor.
Through the chair, thank you. I have a degree in theater arts as well as a degree in sociocultural anthropology. So that is both the arts and the culture. And so I am uniquely qualified for this in a way. But I also feel that all of the other commissioners also have backgrounds that are equally as unique. And their input is vital to keep this commission going. And we all have different perspectives, which is wonderful because not every person or commissioner has all of the answers. At the same time, I agree with Commissioner Schaefer that learning the protocols for government action is probably would be beneficial to all of us. And I know that there is a Planning Commissioners Academy that they get to go to. I don't think that there is one that is equivalent to the Arts and Cultural Commission, but there are other seminars around that would give us more understanding of city protocol and how to achieve our goals in terms of policy and work plan.
In the past, there has been in-house training by the City Attorney's Office years ago with all boards and commission members on the Brown Act. You may recall, Vice Chair Vidor, when they changed from the Brown Act to the procedure that we're now, besides the Brown Act, Rosenberg, instead of Robert Rules, Rosenberg's. And so that was done previously. We can ask if, in fact, perhaps training can be recorded, perhaps, and then each commission can view the training if there's questions. So I will check with the city.
That would be great, I think. I know there was like a test to take when we first joined, the information was it was given to us, but in a way that, you couldn't revisit. It was like you took the test, it was sort of, you could hold the thought in your mind for enough time to take the multiple choice test, and then it was gone. And I do feel like if there was an actual training and a video that one could watch whenever you wanted to, I know for me, and I think I've watched other commissioners join and have this experience, you have that, and then you're on the floor in the actual moment, it's harder to see. And if I think, I can speak for myself that if I had left my first meeting and then could go revisit like that stuff, it would have been very helpful. And then I would have come to the second one being like, oh, okay, now I get what that was about. Now I understand. Yeah.
Commissioner Hernandez?
My answer is I do believe that I have the necessary training and tools, but I got that through experience by serving on the commission. There were other I was blessed to have great commissioners that have been on for years prior to my coming on, and they, in a way, mentored me and kind of helped show me, and that was kind of my training. A video would be good procedurally, because that was something that I kind of had to learn with time that you couldn't really convey. That kind of leads me to 1B. What could be more effective? It was just the amount of time that it takes for us to find a grant or to do something, and then we have to ping pong it over to city council, hope it gets on the agenda, then they got to ping pong it back. By the time all of the procedure goes through, you lucky if you have like a day or two before that deadline, and then you're crossing your fingers that they received it, and then I just, so as far as do we have the training and tools to be effective, it's kind of like a yes and no question, in my opinion. We do have the other commissioners that we can always go to, not in violation of Brown Act, but just procedurally. Serving as chair, I learned a lot.
Yeah, yes, you did.
I did learn a lot from that procedurally, but that would be my answer for question 1.
Okay, in response to the timing to go to council, so forth and so on, I've been in discussions with the city attorney's office and the city manager's office, along with Councilmember Matias, to sort of fine-tune the procedure and streamline it. So that is in the works for all commissions. So that's being looked at. Question number, does anyone else have anything else for 1B? If not, I'll go on to question 2. Do you feel that topics your board, commission, committees oversees is easily understandable, focused, and reflects the work you do?
I guess this gets back to our core beginning of some passionate feelings here. I think yes. I think more than perhaps a number of commissions. It is in the title. It is clear what we do. And it is concise, and it is, I think it is.
Good. Number 3, do you believe having defined goals and a work plan would help your board, commission, committee to be more effective?
Commissioner Thorson.
We do have those things, and it will help our commission be more effective.
And Vice Chair Vidora.
Ditto.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Thank you. I'll get this right eventually. Just takes time. I'm newer to the commission, and so I don't know what has happened in the past. I did go back a few meetings, so I'm not sure how you worked before, but we did work on a work plan, and I think it gives us a good strategy to move forward. So I'm ditto, but I just wanted to add that I don't know as much.
Yeah. Commissioner Hernandez.
I agree. I do believe that having defining goals and a work plan helps us become more effective, especially when we have a date set just for goal plan, goal setting, because it puts us in that right frame of mind to where that's all we're going to work with. We might have like refreshments, water, we're a little bit more relaxed setting, even though it is being recorded. But I think that that's really super helpful because it zeroes in on certain goals that are going to be attainable throughout the year. So that way we're not so scattered across the board, as I know sometimes we were like that in the past. We'd have so many different ideas, but it helps us to narrow it down into something workable. So yes, I agree that it's super helpful for our commission.
Commissioner Miller?
I want to say it's been helpful for me as well, even though I'm new a little bit, but not really. Just having a clear indication of what our goals are and what we're trying to do. It helps like someone coming in, it's already set, and we're just kind of getting through them.
And I would also like to, echo that statement. I think it is extremely helpful for me personally. If just sort of this is anecdotally, when I saw the agenda for this meeting, I was so excited that there was a point from the work plan and that it has now made its way into our agenda for the meeting. And I was like, wow, that's great. We don't have to discuss, it's not there. We didn't have to vote to put it on here next time. We made a work plan and now we will be discussing that. And yes, so I can say concretely today, looking at the list, having that work plan is already making an enormous difference.
Yes, this is this commission's third goal-setting work plan. Over the years, it was done a little differently. Vice Chair Vidor and Commissioner Hernandez presented the second work plan. Vice Chair Vidor was the chair, I believe, the first year. And so this commission has had a history of doing goal setting and work plans, because I thought it was always important for this commission to have goal setting. When I took over as staff, there were a lot of ideas, and as stated, sometimes things didn't get done. And so I think once you have a focus, so this commission over the past few years has really focused, and again, have this work plan, I think, is one of your better ones this year. Question 4, do you feel your recommendations, if any, flow through to City Council well?
Commissioner Hernandez.
As of right now, I don't think it does. But then it just goes back to what I had said earlier, the ping-ponging of it getting, we send it to them, and then a lot of the times they'll say, oh, well, we need to send it to this other department. And then somehow, somewhere, the football gets dropped, and then we did a lot of work and spent a lot of time, meetings time. So we're repeating a lot of the things in our meetings where it looks like we're not getting it done, but it's an extensive draft of things that we were doing just to have it get lost. So then it looks like we bared no fruit for the years of talk and discussion and ideas that were put into this. So I do believe that it's not flowing very well. I'm hopeful that all of these new things that are happening is going to help flow better, especially with streamlining. Because I think that's a necessary step for any of the commissions to go well, because it definitely helps with funding. And, I know we're not the only commission that would need that. But a lot of them are, like I said, are on time crunches. And it would help us as a commission have more things accomplished if we had better quicker, not really better, but quicker communications and feedback from City Council.
I will call on Vice Chair Vidor in one moment, but I just want to say, actually, a big part of my frustration of seeing our name show up in the consolidation is that I feel like the meeting that we had at the end of the year, beginning of this year, to sort of streamline these processes was very exciting and very fruitful. When I met with Staff Taylor and Councilman Mateus and City Attorney Nebb, that we could begin to finally see this fruit, where we have developed a process of when we vote on something, writing a one-page that is sent to City Council, which they will then send to the City Attorney's office, and we've yet to see if that is happening. I still have faith. It has been a short enough amount of time since we sent those in. I'm not assuming that we're not going to get a response, but it is very frustrating to have to answer this question now after feeling like my answer today is maybe very different than it was 3 months ago, but I don't know yet. Now, Vice Chair Vidor.
Thank you. Through the chair. I'm going to use the gift and loan policy as an example of where things go to die. So we developed a gift and loan policy. We were told to develop them separately as a gift policy and a loan policy, which we were then told to combine into the gift and loan policy. All of this went to the city attorney's office. They were supposed to review it, and they were supposed to bring it back to us with recommendations, which they never did. And we have just been waiting for some sort of response about that. But not just that, then it was supposed to go on to be presented to the city council, which it has never gone to because it's never come back to us. The gift and loan policy is a very important piece of policy that I cannot understand why it has not moved forward. This protects the city against liability. It assesses all of the art so we know what the values are, and it tells the city what we have in storage and what we have in the public view. These are important pieces. And the fact that we haven't followed through with this for over 5 years gives me pause and makes me wonder what is happening with all the things that, all the work that we put in, and then it just goes somewhere, and it never comes back to us for any sort of recommendation, and then it never goes to the city council where it can become actual policy and get into our books. So those are my frustrations with that. So I would say that I do not feel that our recommendations are getting to city council and they're not moving forward the way that they should.
I have an update.
Staff Taylor.
It's a very good update. Actually, the memos that were drafted that you approved at your January meeting, they have been forwarded to City Council. So just because, again, there was a question on procedure between the City Attorney's Office and the City Attorney's Office and the City Manager's Office, that was cleared up. And as of Friday, I believe, those memos were forwarded to the City Council and the City Clerk's Office. So that's the current update.
Great.
And so thank you for this commission and Commissioner Wise for your meeting with the City Attorney, because I think that was very helpful, you and Councilmember Matias.
No, and I hope that can be a model for all, as we're revisiting boards, I hope that can be a model for everyone. Commissioner Schaefer.
Through the chair, I am new, so when I hear that it's taken 5 years, I had a question if there's some kind of protocol where we can't just talk to the city attorney. Is there some reason that we couldn't go forward to the city attorney and say, hey, what's going on?
We have a city attorney representative, and he was here, and he took it to the city attorney's office for review, but again, there was no policy in place. Plus, it was conflicting. One of the policies was conflicting with another commission regarding the gift and loan policy, I believe it was. So there were a lot of things that weren't in place to move the policies forward. My understanding now, I'm very hopeful that there is a policy in place to move it forward for all boards, committees, and commissions. But over the years, it has been stalled. You have anything that you want to add?
Through the chair, I'm asking this because I want to know how I can work. Because when things don't move, the project manager in me says, make it move. So that's why I'm asking, because I want to make sure that, and I will always go to you, make sure I'm doing the right thing, but I just want to know if, there are protocols that keep us from talking to the city attorney or talking to the city manager.
Through the chair, if I may. No, there's nothing holding you back from contacting the city attorney's office, and you're more than welcome to always, ping whatever attorney is working on the policy as to an update. Ms. Taylor is the staff liaison, but that does not mean that you can't reach out, email me, today. And then we had Ms. Najjar, we had a discussion about so-and-so, like, where are we on this? That is something we welcome, and yeah.
And I believe Councilmember Mateus wants to weigh in.
Councilman Mateus.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. So you guys know I always call a spade, and the reality is we're pretty much, when it comes to the relationship between boards and commissions and the city attorney's office and the city manager's office, and then the relationship between boards and commissions and the council, we're building the plane as we're flying it. That's the honest truth. The fact that we had to get a meeting on the book with the city attorney to figure out, okay, how do we get this information over to the council, wasn't really something that was done and done effectively in the past. And even when it comes to resolutions that were being passed by commissions, and then the process of getting them over to the council wasn't really something that was ironed out until you guys and other commissioners across other commissions started passing resolutions and pushing with their council liaisons to get them on the agenda. So, one of the things that I know City Manager Murray and City Clerk Abramson, they've committed themselves to doing is figuring out a path so that anytime there is some action that the commission is taking, any of the commissions we have, that at least once a month, that item, at least one of those items gets placed on our agenda, just to be respectful of the work that you guys are doing in service of community. So that is something that they're working on, but those questions weren't being asked before because we weren't really pushing hard enough. And I'm sharing this also as a commissioner who served 8 years before being elected to the council. So appreciate all of the suggestions you guys are offering, and know that, just in the past year, there has been movement. And also, this is very much a exercise that is going to take some time for us to iron out cleanly and then make it part of the memory of the institution that is the city.
Thank you. The last question is, this is a good one for you. Do you feel consolidation of boards, commissions, or committees with overlapping focuses would be a positive step?
It's very hard to answer this question because I don't think there's no consolidation that would ever make sense. But I do think before that question can even be asked, the scope of all commissions needs to be considered and discussed more than it has. I do think that there could be a world where there are some overlapping commissions. When I looked through the other recommendations, some of them make sense. Some of them I don't know how I feel about getting rid of the Sister City Committee or the McCune Library Collection Committee, but some of the points about police advisory, there are commissions with overlapping scope, and perhaps it would make sense to find a world where you do very transparently, not just eliminating one commission, incorporate them together. But I think there needs to be a much longer and more transparent process to determine what those commissions truly are. Yes.
Yes, one of the things that one of the components that was in your work plan was working with other commissions. And that was brought out at the March 3rd meeting. The Beautification Commission, the Sister City Commission, other commissions that, and also the Economic Development Commission, I believe, was part of your work plan. So this commission's already thinking about that, and looking forward to having those discussions with the different commissions.
Commissioner Hernandez?
I don't feel the consolidation of the boards or overlapping commissions would be much of a positive step, personally. I do think that having some projects that involve the other commissions and having those projects work together, I think that's a positive thing. But I still think that they should be two different teams. I don't think putting them all, or even, just consolidating certain ones might make sense. But I just feel like giving 7 people a bigger range is just not very good. I think that having things broken down the way they are right now keeps things fair, and it keeps things to where multiple people can have a say in, different parts of the city, depending on the commission or board that they choose to volunteer into. But taking away the amount of people and condensing it down might seem like a smart move because it could streamline easier. You're taking away voices from those different pieces, and you're just giving it only to the 7 for whatever you're going to consolidate it into and call. So that's where I don't think it's a positive step. I think it's a shortcut. And it seems like a great idea, but I think long term, I don't think that that's a good idea.
Vice Chair Vidor?
I am not in agreement with consolidating boards and commissions and committees because I do believe that, as Commissioner Hernandez says, I think it would dilute what each commission does. I did pull out the duties of the Arts and Cultural Commission here, and we are specific. I'm not going to read them all, but we are here to organize visual and performing arts leaders, and we are to promote local visual and performing and creative arts organizations. And I don't see where the other commissions do those exact things. While they may tertiarily touch upon them, beautification could absolutely be murals, but it could also be, planting trees in a median. So there's a very different feeling for what beautification does than what arts and cultural can do, but we can work together to create wonderful murals, which is both beautification and arts and culture.
I do think, sort of to echo that, I think the key, there is further definition of the commissions would be helpful, and that could perhaps deal with any inefficiencies that exist is through definition, not elimination, as well as we've discussed, and just to echo this again, cross-commission work. I think that is what will make things more efficient, rather than feeling, oh, there's too much overlap. It's just encouraging when that overlap exists to have greater communication between the commissions and to work together on projects and things like that. I also do just want to echo the sentiment that I think at the end of the day, anything that is discouraging citizen involvement in government is a mistake. It is very appealing to a bureaucrat. It is very appealing from a pure efficiency standpoint, but it is the government. This is people's lives. This is people's world. And citizen involvement can be messy and can take up a lot of extra time and can have a lot of trouble, but at the end of the day, I don't think that the city of Vallejo should be in the business of discouraging citizen involvement in government, which at the end of the day is what that does.
Through the chair.
Yes, Commissioner Thorson, you had your thing on first.
Thank you. I actually don't want to follow what you just said because I think it's very important. There should be citizen involvement in government, especially local government, especially all government. I also feel like the overlapping focuses, eliminating boards with overlapping focuses will make collaboration between boards not a thing, not valuable. And I think that that is very valuable because it takes two things and makes something greater than the sum of its parts. I also think that, having a economic commission eating an arts commission will make arts and culture more bland. No offense, but I think that's true. They are different focuses. And, we all know the purpose of art is not to derive an economy. It is so much greater than that, but also it does drive the economy. But let's not get the cart before the horse.
Mr. Schaefer?
I'm kind of in disagreement. Unfortunately, y'all. I do think that some of these commissions need to be, they might need to be consolidated. I also think the duties and purposes of the committee should be reevaluated. Even this one, I think we have old standards around performing arts and visual arts. It's a lot more than that now. And like I said, we're going into neuro arts now, where it's about health and art. This, I think, definitely, it's smart to reevaluate. It's smart to reevaluate. And if you can consolidate, it's smart to consolidate. I don't think it eliminates public participation in government. It's just smart to look at this and consolidate when necessary. I don't think this is one of the committees that should be consolidated, though. I do think culture and arts in one of the most diverse cities in the country, in a city that is trying to build their economy and is trying to embrace the arts, this is not the one that should be consolidated. So that's my 2 cents.
Very good. I think that unless you feel the need, I don't know if you need to respond in writing, but if you want to, you still can. So this, we'll just stick to sending something by Wednesday.
Yeah.
That's good. And Council Member Matias would like to give his update now, if possible.
Absolutely, please.
Councilmember Matias?
Thank you for that. And sorry, Ms. Taylor, the mouse is being a little slow on this computer. So really robust discussion. I've been able to tune into some of the other commissions when this item has come up, and the conversations have been very rich. The feedback has been invaluable, and I think it'll help inform a more informed decision when we revisit this topic, hopefully in a few months. As Ms. Taylor shared with the group, the memo was shared with the entire council. We also received that commitment from the city manager and his team to make sure we start establishing a process by which actions taken by commissions are placed on the agenda, on our regular meeting agenda, at least once a month. So that's something that they're working on. And again, I want to thank you guys for pushing the envelope, and just want to appreciate the patience that you've had in getting us to this place. When it comes to council business, there's a couple items that I want to touch on. As a few folks have alluded to, we had what was our first special meeting on boards and commissions exclusively. There were incredible work plans presented by each of the commissions. This one in particular was able to not just articulate the themes for the year, but propose specific projects where we wouldn't only be pushing forward the culture and the arts, but we would also be addressing other issues that our city is experiencing, namely around public safety, also around economic development. And it seemed to, spark the interest of the council to continue to have discussions. And so I look forward to continue that partnership with this group, and with the council to make sure we're prioritizing the arts, in our culture, in the months and years ahead. So it was a very productive meeting all around, and I want to thank, the team that made the presentation. Very much appreciate all the work that went into that, and all the input that the entire commission provided. At the council level, we've also had some discussions, primarily around our budget. As you may have seen on the paper, there is a projected $28 million structural deficit, in the 26-27 year. And so we've asked the city manager's office to really dig in and ensure that we're making the appropriate changes, not just to deal with the deficit, but to set up the agency for long-term fiscal sustainability in the years ahead. And so much of that discussion will continue in the next couple months. As you guys know, we have a budget to adopt by July 1st of this year, which will kick off the 26-27 year. We also received a public safety update where the deputy chief was able to share out that across major categories, we were able to see reductions in crime somewhere between 20 and 35%. That doesn't mean we don't have a lot of work in front of us. We've got to focus on recruitment. We've got to focus on supporting folks experiencing domestic violence. We've got to hunker down on our sex trafficking initiative, and we've got to continue working on reform. And so there was a very robust update shared there. And as we look ahead, some of the things on the hopper that we're going to continue to talk about include our continued supports of our unhoused residents, a couple of projects that are going to come before the council for consideration. So tomorrow night, there is a 51 single family home subdivision in the Glen Cove area that we will be considering for approval. And we will also be looking at the plans for Blue Rock Springs. As you guys may or may not know, they're thinking about redevelopment of the golf course area. And so we're going to be looking at those plans. So there are some development projects in the pipeline that potentially could have benefited from having that policy in place. And so we're going to make sure that policy that the vice chair alluded to earlier. So we're going to make sure that we get those things ironed out so that any future development is accounted for. And I'm going to continue pushing for that going into goal setting. And I think outside of that, the only other update I wanted, or comment, not necessarily an update, is when we were talking about the budget, I talked about the need for us to right size our agency and also focus in on key priorities. Who are we serving? We're serving the residents. I talked about the economic development team in particular and the need to, really focus on our small business as a vehicle for job creation. The reason why I'm elevating that example is to touch on something the vice chair shared earlier in the meeting, and I'll conclude with this, which is if you really want to prioritize the culture and the arts, you have to make sure you're making those investments. You have to make sure you're prioritizing it as a city. And Richmond, out of all places, they actually have a full-time position dedicated to the culture and the arts. And so I just share that to say that I think it's important for us to really think about what it is that we're doing as a city to support the areas that we've identified as priority, because ultimately that is what is going to show whether or not we're serious about what identity we're creating as a city or what our identity is, and then whether or not, we're really serious about helping advance that identity, that reputation, that priority for the year. So it's all a long-winded way of saying, I think we're making progress, but there's still a need for us to really double down on our priority areas and then to put some money behind it. So that's all I got this month. There'll be more to come tomorrow and then next week because we've got back-to-back meetings. Happy to answer any questions you guys may have. And again, thank you for your service.
Thank you, Councilman Mateus. I don't think we have any questions. Yeah, but thank you. And now we will move on to item B. I think item B is our goal-setting work plan review, and the recommendation here is to provide comments on goal-setting and work plan PowerPoint presentation to City Council on March 3rd, 2026. I do just want to speak into the record a sincere thank you to Vice Chair Vidor and Commissioner Thorson for doing that presentation. I was very disappointed when I saw that it was happening at the same time that I was out of town, but I have heard that you did a great job, and I have no doubt that that is the case.
Yes, through the chair, the presentation by this commission was very well received. There were a lot of interest in the sidewalk art proposal that was part of your work plan. There wasn't any pushback that I recognize regarding asking money for regranting. Currently, as Councilmember Matias says, that there's a $28 million deficit, so none of the budgets that were part of the work plans for any of the commissions or boards was approved. It was just accepting basically the receiving the work plan. But I do want to thank Vice Chair Vidor and Commissioner Thorson, as well as Commissioner Schaefer, who was in the audience to cheer on the commission and at the ready for any questions that were going to be asked. She was there, so yeah, I appreciate that. And Commissioner Miller did email to ask if it was mandatory for her to be there, because she was willing to come if so. So appreciate all of your support for the work plan that evening. I did include the work plan in the packet, because it was in the packet last month, just in case you didn't see it. It was well done. And if either of anyone who watched it, or Vice Chair Vidor or Commissioner Thorson have any comments, I think this is the time. It was just to bring it forward to recognize the hard work that this commission had done.
Vice Chair Vidor.
Thank you, through the chair. I would like to say thank you for the opportunity to once again present our work plan to the City Council. And I think that Commissioner Thorson did a wonderful job joining me. I believe that we did a really great tag team. And, you know, I think we both knew where our areas would lie. And so we were able to go back and forth and really present a good work plan for the council.
Great. Thank you again so much. I'm so happy that that has happened and that it is happening. I do want to, you know, go back to what Councilman Mateus was said in the budget. I'm so excited to hear about that response to the sidewalk, because I think that is such a good example of how I think the number one key priority of the city, as they say, is public safety, and that is this exact example of how public safety can be part of culture and the arts, and thinking about that, and then so many of regranting and always thinking about that framing, not to become a purely capitalist commission, but it's economic development and it is public safety, and I think the more we've done a good job of underlining that.
Yeah, through the chair, one of the commissioners asked, had locations been selected yet? And they were sort of ready to go. And the answer was no, it's going to be community outreach for each district.
Fantastic. Great. I think unless there's more comment, I'll move on to the next item. Item C, we took a lot of time on the item 1 today, so I'm hoping we can kind of move through these a little bit fast. But item C is to advocate to City Council to proclaim April as Art, Culture, Creativity Month. And to discuss this, I do have one quick open question. Would it be possible, because I feel like actually somewhat straightforward, to send direct from this meeting a message to City Council and to the mayor that this, if we were to vote, to say, yes, we support this, to send that vote to them sort of immediately, because April is a week away. Vice Chair Vidor.
Thank you. I did actually look up how to do a proclamation, and it is through the mayor's office, and there's an online portal that you can fill out, and it also has, I went and found the policy, which it describes exactly how to go about this. If April is the Arts and Cultural Month, I can't remember exactly what the wording is. Let's see.
Arts, culture, creativity.
Yeah, it's the Arts, Culture, and Creativity Month, and this is a state California proclamation. In order for that, since it's April, in order for us to get this through to the mayor to have because it has to go through the mayor and the city council, I would think that we would need to make a decision tonight to fill out this form and send it in and have that done as soon as possible, because it does take about 30 days. And so that would be at the end of the month. It would probably be, wouldn't probably get on the council's agenda until the second April meeting, I would think, because it takes a while for it to get on. It takes at least 6 weeks. So I would like to make a motion or a proposal to have the form filled out online and to submit it and to get this ball rolling.
Councilman Schaefer.
Through the chair, just a slight suggestion. I would tweak your motion to pretty much address who would be responsible for filling out the form and sending it over to the mayor's office.
What a great suggestion.
And through the chair, would you, Vice Chair Vidor, is it a short form?
Yes, it is a very short
Would
form.
you like to just read what the questions
Yes.
are, so the commission knows what they are?
Yes. So the application request for ceremonial document is the applicant name, phone, email, organization, recipient name, title of proclamation, date of application, and requested date. And then down at the bottom, it says the proclamation, public awareness example. So these are examples of what you would propose. So a fair housing month or suicide prevention month. And then you need a letter of welcome and greeting, and then the achievement of the certificate. So it's really very short and straightforward. And I don't think that would be very difficult for us to just fill it out. I think we already have all the information. Commissioner Schaefer was the one who brought it to us, and I think that it would be great if Commissioner Schaefer wanted to help, or if we were going to do this by committee, if we needed to do an ad hoc.
Through the chair, I'm willing to help, no problem. And there's a kit on the state website to do these proclamations as well, so that you probably can get more information that's the description and whatnot from the kit.
Wonderful.
Vice Chair Vidor, would you like to amend your motion then?
I would like to amend the motion that we go forward this month with filling out the application request with the Commissioner Schaefer and myself, an ad hoc to complete this and submit it to the mayor's office to make a proclamation for the April as the Arts and Cultural Creativity Month.
I second the motion.
Yeah, it stands, the motion's gone through.
Thank you.
So, no, you have to vote on it. So, we vote on it. So the motion is that the Commission on Cultural Arts will fill out the application for the Arts, Culture, Creativity Month with Vice Chair Vidor and Commissioner Schaefer as the ad hoc committee. And they will fill out, you'll send me the completed form. I will share that with the full commission. Is there a due date that it needs to be sent in?
There is no designated due date. It does recommend, it recommends 30 days, but we don't have 30 days. So I would say as soon as possible, and if we could get it done by the end of this month.
Right, that's why, if you may recall, in the January meeting, you had asked to put this on the futures list, but because I knew that it was going to be a short period of time for the turnaround, that was why it was on the February agenda. Unfortunately, you didn't have a quorum. So I'm ready for roll call if everyone else is.
Through the mayor, or through the chair, I have a question, just to clarify. The motion was Commissioner Vidor and Commissioner Schaefer will submit the proclamation on behalf of the Culture and Arts Commission. I didn't hear the motion for Ms. Taylor to submit it on their behalf. Am I correct in understanding that it would be you two directly?
I would think it would have to go through Staff Taylor to
Okay.
be submitted.
Shall we amend the motion?
So unfortunately, since you've seconded the motion, you're going to have to vote on the existing motion and then propose a different motion if that motion fails to pass.
Or could there be a friendly amendment? Or no? Or is it best? Just
The
best that we do
best
it?
and the clearest route would be to vote on the existing motion and then put the second, if it fails to pass, then proceed with making a new motion.
Okay, as stated, do I need to repeat it? Everyone's clear? Okay, roll call. Chair Wise,
No.
Vice Chair Vidor,
No.
Commissioner Hernandez,
No.
Commissioner Miller,
No.
Commissioner Thorson,
No.
Commissioner Schaefer.
No.
Okay, so it fails. So you want to do another motion?
I can get this right.
I would like to make the motion.
Okay.
I would like to make a motion that Commissioner Schaefer and Vice Chair Vidor fill out the proclamation application to proclaim April as Art, Culture, and Creativity Month to be submitted by Staff Taylor. Yeah, and that's the motion.
Could I add one quick amendment to it to say no later than March 30th?
Yes, you may.
No later than March 30th.
I'd like to second that motion.
I'm just writing it down. Even though it's there, I like to write it down. So that was Wise, second. Okay, it was motioned by Commissioner Hernandez, seconded by Chair Wise, that Commissioner Schaefer and Vice Chair Vidor fill out the proclamation application, which is to be submitted by staff no later than March 30th. Roll call, Chair Wise.
Yes.
Vice Chair Vidor.
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez.
Yes.
Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Commissioner Thorson.
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yes.
Passes 6-0. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, now we're going to move on to item D, budget planning for fiscal year budget request. I was thinking about this ahead of the meeting. This is something we want to make sure is happening, that we don't lose the wheels. I personally would like, please let me know if people disagree. I think that the best move would be to, at this meeting, establish an ad hoc committee that is the guidance of, so that then we can go forward and there is a group of people that are dedicated to keeping this budget rolling, and we can have regular check-ins and everything, but if we could establish that ad hoc at this meeting so that we are on track for the eventual budget ask.
Would you like to say, determined by the passage of a budget by the city council or something of that nature, to make sure that the funding is there, or that the funding would be there?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact wording. Since they're looking to base, if funding is available, something of that nature.
Yeah, well, so I guess I would like to motion to create an ad hoc committee that would, the scope of which would be to plan for a budgetary request at the fiscal year budget mark of city council, should funds be available.
Are there any volunteers for the committee?
I will volunteer. Ms. Miller? Commissioner Miller?
I'm available as well to volunteer.
So Chair Wise and Commissioner Miller volunteered. There is room for one other additional person if you like to volunteer. It's up to 3 people for ad hoc committee.
I can volunteer.
Commissioner Thorson, thank you, since the majority of the money goes to your the project you're proposing.
Wildly
Thank
corrupt.
you. So it was Chair Wise and Commissioners Miller and Thorson volunteered to be on the ad hoc committee. So a motion was made to create the ad hoc committee, and these are the 3 volunteers. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, vote, roll call. Commissioner Wise,
Yes.
Vice Chair Vidor,
Yes.
Commissioner Hernandez,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Thorson,
Yes.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yes.
Passes 6-0. So on this, who will be the one person who will make sure that to organize the meetings, time and so forth and so on, be it Zoom or in person? Who will be that designee?
I will be that designee. I will designate myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure everyone knows who
Absolutely.
to expect. Okay.
Great. Now we get to move on to future agendas item. I do, related to future agenda item, something I meant to highlight in item C is, given the crunch here, I wonder, would it be possible to put in place now that in November of this year, we will address this item for April of 2027? I don't know what the proper way to, I don't want to forget that. I want to make sure that is in place somewhere, because I think if we could begin, if we could advocate for that proclamation or several months ahead of time, we could make sure that there is actually a big announcement on April 1st from the mayor, and perhaps work with them if they want to collaborate with us on a more formal proclamation.
So for next year.
For next year, so wondering if we could put it on as sort of a future agenda item to be out there to come up at the November meeting of this year. I think that would be, before the holiday break, would be a very helpful.
So you want on the November futures list, and so it will sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we don't meet in December, so you'll meet in January.
Yeah.
And then you will, when does the application come out? Do we know?
It's ongoing.
Through the chair, it isn't ongoing, so it doesn't,
There's no time?
there's no
Okay.
timeline.
And that way, in November, we could fill out the form, but also then perhaps have a discussion in November where we could send maybe a more formal document to the mayor to perhaps to try and be more involved and make it a bigger proclamation next April.
And perhaps have some type of an event or something
Yeah.
around it.
Through the chair, I have a question. So this proclamation we're talking about doing, I thought, once the proclamation is there, April is now the month.
I believe the proclamation process is, it will be that
Yearly.
April of 20.
Have to do it
Yeah.
every year? Wow.
Yeah. So we're sort of setting the groundwork now. It would be great if we could get that, get that proclamation in before the end of April so that there is a precedent set that we can revisit. It will be, I imagine, make it easier to get it done next year, but it is then next year to have that be the year that we are really have it mean something, I guess, at the end of the,
And through the chair, just to be clear, one of the things in the work plan was to have an event in that month of April in 2027. So there would be planning around that too.
Yes.
Great. But yeah, I think, if we could add that to the future agenda items and perhaps write in the future agenda items, because I know it has to sit there, to just have the word November to be like future agenda item in November, discuss.
Right.
So that there's no doubt about when we are planning on bringing it up. Vice Chair Vidor.
I really like that idea because one of the things that happens is that things get dropped off of the agenda and we're not reminded in any way, and then things just sort of, get forgotten, and then they're brought back at some point and we're like, oh, we forgot this. So I think it's wonderful to have it on there and to keep that going. It's a good idea.
And just an update, I'm trying to find a date in April to look to tour Mare Island. I've sent the email, so if it's not April, it'll be May, but hopefully it'll be April. But Public Works, as some of you know, is kind of short-staffed at this point in time. But that is something that I did not forget. And so, it's art and storage, so it's been on the list. It's something I've been working on.
Thank you. Okay, I guess we'll move on to item 10, announcements. Are there any announcements? We are announcementless. The next meeting will be April 27th, 2026. And with that, it is 7 o'clock and 33 minutes, and I would like to motion to adjourn.
Second the motion.
Doesn't need a second. Thank you.
Thank you.
7:33. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, so you,